What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about 4 different items, 4 different concepts, 4 different strategies that you can execute to be able to achieve your income goals and fund your life the way that you desire to fund it in 2024. Does that sound okay? Is that all right? Right. Okay, Ben, I can see you.
First of all,
excited,
it's cool. It's
right?
cool to
That's
see
good.
some familiar faces. LC, what's up, man? LC, how you doing, man?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So for those of you that are giving thumbs up and like this call specifically for you,
Okay, great.
right? We can see you. It's great. For those of you that are kind of like in like, hey, let's see what you got, and I'll tell you if it's good. Cool. I'll take a challenge. We're ready for you too. Listen,
we're gonna move fast though.
Oh yeah,
30 minutes, and we have 4 things, and it'll be okay.
So we're gonna start right now. We're gonna start really fast. Right. The first thing that we're gonna talk about, this whole call is gonna be about it. Setting a goal and achieving your goals for 2024, because we know clarity is power. So the first thing we've got to do is we got to get clear on your income goal. We got to get clear on your income goal. Okay. So here's how we get clear on your income goal, right? There's a lot of people say like, hey, do you know your income goal next year? And people go, oh yeah, I want to make 250, right? Or 500 or $1 million or 2 million or 5 million, whatever your number is. Well, think bigger, right? I love that. The first question I always have for them, Brian, is that enough money? Is that enough money? So whatever your income goal is, what we're going to do is we're going to stress test it very quickly against 5 different categories that you're going to write down. And you're going to have to do this homework on your own after this call. We're going to stress test what you wrote down with 5 different categories. Is it enough money? Typically it's not, but we'll find out if it is. So the first category is personal expenses. And I'm going to describe these in a minute. Well, I'm just going to go through them first. The second category is professional expenses. The third category is lifestyle expenses. Some of you are going, what is that? We're going to describe it in a minute. Don't worry. The fourth category is wants and desires. And the 5th category is this really fun thing that I'm sure you've paid in full on time and you've already taken care of. We shouldn't even talk about it. It's called taxes. So personal expenses, professional expenses, lifestyle expenses, wants and desires, and taxes. Okay. Those numbers together, the total of those 5 numbers is your income goal. Personal expenses is everything you pay in your house, everything you pay to fund your life on a consistent fixed basis. That should be very easy. If it's not, let's create a budget for that. Professional expenses is the exact same thing for your business. What do you spend in your business on a consistent basis that's fixed?
And we're talking about like actual expenses, not like I could cut a bunch of things out and I could pare it down and I could be at no, actual, like so what you would do with that is you look at how much did I actually spend, like in November.
Yeah.
How much am I spending in December? And you use that as an actual number.
And again, we look at business expenses. In real estate, your car is a business expense. Your cell phone's a business expense. We're talking about those things, right? The combination of those. So personal expenses plus professional expenses. Now, lifestyle expenses are non-fixed, consistent expenses. What does that mean? A non-fixed consistent expense would be that you take your spouse on a date night every week, or you take your kids somewhere every week, or you go to the movies every week, right? That's a non-fixed consistent expense, right? Okay. Wants and desires is the really big one. This is the material items that you want to buy, the debt that you want to pay off, the money that you want to save, the money that you want to invest, right? The travel that you want to go on, the money that you want to donate to charity. Wants and desires is the really large category. It's the big category, right? That will probably be larger than the rest of them combined, for sure.
And just for fun, does anybody want to have a great 2024? Like, you want to look back a year from today and go like, 2024 was awesome. Anybody? Okay, good. You're still with us. That's awesome. Great.
3 people. That's good.
Take an item off your bucket list. Take an item off your bucket list.
Okay.
Right? Think about your bucket list and go, what's something I've always said, I'm going to do this like someday. Someday I'm going to do it. Great. Figure out what one of those items is. Figure out what it would cost to do it in 2024. Add that to your wants and desires, right? Because whatever 2024 does, whatever challenges, whatever wins, whatever things we go through, wouldn't it be great to look back a year from today and go, oh my gosh, not only did I have a great business, not only did I do all the other things for my family or people that depend on me, I was able to do something I've always said I was going to do.
Yeah. And heck, you're not getting any younger. So why not now? I'm not either. So don't take it the wrong way. Okay. Let's go to the 5th one.
Older
right?
During the call.
That's true. We got older since we started, right? So we should speed things up. Number 5, right? Number 5 is taxes. And here's the thing about taxes. First of all, take the 4 numbers, what you need to earn. And what you're going to add in is a minimum. There's tax brackets. Talk to your accountant. I'm not a CPA. Speak to a professional. Brian's not either. This isn't financial advice. You're going to add in a minimum of 25%. A minimum. Now, that's if you earn right in the lower tax bracket. For most of you on here making 100, 200, 300, 400, 500,000, right, or more, you're going to add in, right, 33% or 35% or 37%. And that's part of the reason why y'all might be getting in trouble.
Plus whatever your state has on top of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then you have state tax. Then you have, right now, there's a website, right? It's smartasset.com where you can put in your state, you can put in your income, and it'll give you a projection, right, of your taxes. It's a free tool, right? That could be helpful for you to be able to project out that fifth category, right? But what you just did, personal expenses, professional expenses, lifestyle expenses, wants and desires, and taxes, when you added those together, is you created your updated income goal, and you answered the first question on today's call, which is, what do you want? By the way, that's the number one coaching question, right? It's the basis of all coaching. It's the basis of all consulting. It's the basis of all growth. What do you want, right? Life's about you, isn't it? I mean, it should be. It's you. It's yours anyway. So what do you want? Now, there's a second question that we're going to go to next. Now that you've answered what your income goal is and what do you want, and that's, what is your plan? The second question we've got to answer now of these 4 items we're going to cover is, what is your plan? So, Brian, what do we do with that?
Well, I think the first part is we go through the first equation here, kind of a math equation. And the reason we go through that first is, one of the things you may experience is you may have been telling yourself, this is the number I choose to make, or this is the amount of income I choose to make for 2024. Then when you actually start planning it, when you actually start looking at it, going, well, how will I pay my taxes? How will I do the things I want to do? Then you're going to realize, some of you may realize, like, the number needs to be substantially higher. Anybody with me on that one? Where you get to reality, and then you go, okay, well, if we're going to be real, numbers got to be bigger, right? I got to make it happen even more. Okay. So great. So the plan is not only what must happen, but breaking it down and going into what are the strategies that I would use in my business? What are the things that I'm going to do personally? What are the behaviors and habits that need to be created during this time? What are the things that I'll be learning to be able to make this, to be able to apply this throughout the year, such that not only does production follow, we're going to talk through the filter of a sales business here, right? Not only does production follow, but I'm leading people in the way that is serving the organization. I'm getting the production. I'm making the money that we determined in step 1.
Yep. So yeah, it's first and foremost, it's, what do you want, right? The second question is, what is your plan? What is your plan? Very simply, in our organization, we could call it a 135. We could call it a GPS. So the question is, right, do you have a clear goal? Now, the reason why we answer in this order is, what do you want becomes the clear goal on the top of the GPS.
Yeah. So if I say, well, I need to make $500,000 in GCI in order to do everything that I just set out in step 1.
Yeah, that becomes the G, or the 1, the top of your business plan. So what do I desire to earn, right? Those 5 categories we test on. When you get that answer, right, that goes to the top of your GPS. Now we've got priorities and strategies to execute on a plan to deliver that. Okay. Right. So some of you are already making phone calls right now, but just hold on a second. We'll tell you what the strategies are, right? The priorities, right, that we take on, for many of us, could be leads, listings, leverage. So the goal, the one goal, or the main goal of our business is to generate a profit, right? Let's not get confused. The purpose of profit is to fund your life. The purpose of your business is to generate a profit. So the one goal of your business is generate a profit. Then the priorities in your business could be leads, listings, leverage, right? If we're going to keep that very simple. How many leads do I need to achieve that income goal, right? How many listings do I need, right, based on the economic model to achieve that income goal, right? What leverage do I need in my world? Who do I need in my team to achieve that income goal? And what are my strategies to do that? This is something to work with your team leader on, right? This is something to attend things like business planning clinic. This is something to work with your productivity coach on, or the person that leads your sales team, right? Or your MAPS coach, to be able to answer that and help execute on your strategies if you haven't done that already, right? So it's my income goal, leads, listings, leverage, strategies to be able to achieve that. Now I've got a 1-page business plan where I can answer the question, what's my plan? It all started with, what do I want? Right? Based on these 5 categories, what do I need to earn? That goes on the top of the GPS. What's my plan to achieve that in my business? Right? Now, what we're going to answer the question is,
hold on.
Oh,
hold on.
Oh, I can't
go you asked a great question.
Oh, sorry.
So Matt and I have a lot of conversations throughout the day, right? And because we lead a lot of things like this together.
That's
So
true.
one of the things you were talking about, you were asking, who coaches you in your life?
Yeah.
Right. So part of this is we're setting income goals to go do specific things, right? So we have areas we want to grow in, and one of those is production. So talk more about that.
Well, yeah. So when you think about, the areas of your life that you want to grow, just for a second, right? You could have, that could be part of your GPS, right? It can be part of your overall plan, right? Like what we just look at what we're doing this year, right? My wife and I are learning tennis. We have a tennis coach, right? After family reunion, we're going skiing. We already hired a Keller Williams agent who's also a ski instructor, right? I have a personal trainer I've got to go see later on this afternoon that, right, beats me up 3 days a week. Gets me in shape 3 days a week. My business coach is standing next to me right now, right? And both of us have a functional health doctor. Now I could keep going, but here's the point, right? When you have goals in your life, are you going out and hiring experts? Are you going out and hiring help? Are you going out and having people that hold you accountable, capable, able to achieve that? A little easier for me. Maybe, I don't know. I played college sports. I was a college coach, right? Coaching to me makes sense. Played a sport for 30 years. I did the same thing in practice every single time, and I still had to do it the next time because that's how, right, you get that ingrained and you take that action. Many people say, I don't need a coach. I don't need help. I figured it out a long time ago. And I go, it's just so weird to me. You do something every day, right? You have consistency. People hold you accountable. They challenge you to go to a higher level. You perform even better. And then some individuals have a mindset of, I don't need help in that area. Well, if you're on pace for your goal, no problem, right? But if you're not, right, what investments will you make with experts to accelerate that? That's just a thought in your GPS, in your plan, right? Who will you hire? Who will you engage? Now, as we keep going, right, the first thing we did is we set our income goal. What do we want? The second thing we do is we answered what was our plan, right, based on our GPS, right? Now we have to go to our pipeline. Our pipeline. When you think about pipeline, what question does that answer? If I was writing my notes right now.
Yeah, for me, it's sometimes we hear words, right, and people go like, oh, that word means something to me, or it made me feel something. Right? Pipeline is one of those words, right? Like if I said like lead generation, you go like, oh, I know what that means, but I have a feeling about it. Or pipeline or database. Like we can use these terms, right? What it actually means to me, pipeline means to me is how many people do I need to communicate with on a consistent basis such that it would guarantee my goal? I'll say it again. How many people do I need to communicate with on a consistent basis such that I would guarantee my goals?
Yep.
Here's the thought behind that, right? If you didn't hit all of your goals in 2023, could you have hit your goals with a little bit more lead generation, with a little bit more communication? Like if you had a sales goal, right? Like if you had a number of, like maybe you said, in 2023, my goal was to sell, 36 units. Did 36 people transact in real estate in your market area?
Say yes.
The answer is yes.
Okay,
the answer is yes,
okay,
right?
Okay, good.
Because we get to work with some teams
Okay.
that do, 400, 500, 600 transactions every year. And I ask them the same question, right? And they go like, oh yeah, we could have done 10 times our goal. And their goal was 500 units, right? So we could have done 10 times our goal in our market. Well, of course you could have, yeah. Because people don't need to be convinced to buy or sell a house. They will buy or sell a house. Your job is to be in communication with them when they decide to do that. Your job is to be able to have the conversations such that those that will buy or sell a house will buy or sell a house with you as their representative, with you working as them, right? So whatever business you're in, the business is already out there. Like one thing that we have to come to grips with in 2023 is whatever your goal was, it was possible. Now, it requires change, right? So pipeline, what it means to me is, are you having enough of those conversations to figure out who is going to be making a move when, right? So one of the easiest ways to do it is look at your cell phone, right? Matt, you walk them through here with the thing for their contacts for their cell phone.
Yeah, if you open up your cell phone right now, open up your contacts and scroll all the way to the bottom and put the number in the chat box. Open up your cell phone, go to contacts, scroll all the way to the bottom and put the number in the chat box.
How many contacts
How
do we
many
have
contacts do you have?
just in your cell phone?
Okay, we're seeing numbers come in.
Great.
770, 438, 2100, 1800, 400,
4,000, I
right?
saw, yeah.
4,000, 2,800, 1,800,
Yeah.
3,700, 7,000. I saw somebody had a
Even the
7,000,
AI is checking
right?
in, like, oh my
12
gosh,
1,200. The AI thinks it's
7,000. Yeah.
3,700. Okay, so here's the first question. Do you have them all in a database? Are they all on a touch system? Do they know you have a real estate license? When's the last time you communicated with them? Have you texted them?
Y'all know a lot of people.
Are they receiving emails from you? Are they receiving positive news from you? Do they know why they should buy, sell, or invest in your market now? Do they know why they should consider buying, selling, or investing in 2024?
Do they know that the average interest rate has fallen 1%?
In the last 45 days.
Not 1%, like out of 100%, like 1%, like from 8% to below 7%.
In the last 45 days.
Or are they still working on the information that interest rates are super high and there's no way we could do anything and that would be crazy and why would I ever do something? And
so let's stop for a second. Let's clean all this up so you guys have clarity. The first one was, what do you want? The second question is, what are your plan? Pipeline is actually, right? Brian gave you one question. The way I think about it as well is, what's the next step in progress with the people I'm already working with to put them under contract? Okay. So the pipeline question is, what's the next step in progress? If you're wondering what's a pipeline is name, phone number, email address, and the notes of where are they in the transaction process. That's what a pipeline is. Okay. It's name, phone number, email address, and where are they in the transaction process. So I've met with this buyer. We signed a buyer agency agreement. We've got to show properties. That's what the notes say. It's what's the next step in progress to put them under contract. I met with the buyer. We didn't sign an agreement. We got to get the agreement signed. I met with the buyer. We signed an agreement. They're not pre-approved. They're going to talk to the lender, right? I met with the seller. We had a conversation. They want to clean their house and wait until spring. So we have a follow-up meeting set, right? I met with the seller. They said they're ready to list their house. The photographer is going out. That's a pipeline. Name, phone number, email address, what is happening and the next step in progress, okay? The question on there is, do I have enough people on my pipeline to be able to fund my life? That's what Brian's saying. Do I have enough people I'm already working with to achieve my income goals? Do I have enough people I'm already working with to achieve what I wrote down on my business plan on my GPS? The fourth question is, if I don't, what lead generation will I do so my pipeline will allow me to achieve my goals? Now, Brian skipped ahead because sometimes we get excited working with each other. And he did an activity with you that we would do in lead generation, the final step of this process. Because in lead generation, the first thing we've got to look at is Gary Keller tells us that we need to be top of mind. If you go back to the MREA book, right? Top of mind awareness. Okay. We learned about a 36 touch system. The way to put that together in the simplest terms is take the people in your phone, work with your market center or your regional tech trainer, upload them into command and get a weekly email out to them. Not, that it's Pi Day or to set their clocks back. By the way, if you're doing that, don't take offense to that. Just understand that people are getting 30 or 40 of those and we're not distinguishing ourselves. You need to send something out to them that distinguishes you as a market expert. A very simple way to do that is send them that monthly somebody should live in your market, why somebody should be in your market, why somebody should invest in your market, right? Pull all the articles for that, okay? By the way, are we here, guys? Are we here? Can you hear us? Okay, great. Sorry about that. It's okay, right? It's all right. We're still here. Great. So pull all the positive.
We're still good?
Pull all the positive news
Okay,
articles. Great. Cool. In your market and communicate with people the positive news articles, right? Here's why to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in our local market. Okay. And you're getting those positive news articles all the time. They're in CNN, they're in CBS, they're in NBC, they're in Fox News, they're in Condé Nast, they're in Traveler. You're seeing them. They're on your Instagram. They're in your email, right? What I'm challenging you with is, are you sharing them? When you get an article of, hey, our market's the top 10 investor market, or a top 10 place to live, or a top 10 place to travel, or a top 10, right? Are you communicating with the people in your phone, starting with, and with your database, why they should buy, sell, or invest in real estate in your market right now? By the way, if we've got a problem with internet right now, we're at KWRI, so you guys can send to the tech team at KWRI what's happening with internet, right? They'll take care of that. But the most important thing we're talking about here with your lead generation is this is a process today. So Brian and I have gone back and forth really quickly, but I want to make sure you clean it up so you know what we're doing. The first thing is, what do I want? Right? Then I'm answering the 5 questions, right, through 5 categories of, right, does it match? Am I earning enough money to be able to achieve what I truly want? The second thing is, what is my plan? The third question is, do I have a pipeline large enough to achieve that goal? People I'm actively working with, buyers and sellers. The fourth question is, if I don't have a pipeline large enough to achieve that goal, what is the lead generation strategy or strategies that I'm committed to be able to talk to enough additional people and put them in my database such that I have active buyers and I got active sellers to get my pipeline to achieve my GPS to fund my life. So what you should be having in your notes is 1, 2, 3, 4, and understand that if you don't have it, you go 4, 3, 2, 1. Does this make sense? Okay, great. Brian, what would you add? You have a book in front of you, right? What would you add?
I just have this book because how many of you heard of or read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent? Right. Yeah, that's like one of those like realtor jokes, right? It's like everyone's like, yeah, I have it. It's like, well, have you read it? Right. And that book is kind of like some of the how-to or some of the mindset or some of the thoughts. They came out with this year, right? It's called the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Playbook. Millionaire Real Estate Agent Playbook. What I like about this is it's specific strategies, specific lead generation strategies, right? So if you go like, oh, yeah, I've been wanting to build a community. I want to like farm a community, right? How would I do that? Well, there's multiple strategies in here. Like this one says 10x farming, right? Choose your zip code, start working in the area, right? How do you do it? But there's multiple farming strategies where you go, I don't really like have a defined area, but I love getting in front of people. I love doing open houses. Great. There's multiple open house strategies in here, right? So you can get this. It's through KW. We don't sell it. We don't have there's no skin in the game for us. However, if I wanted to make it easy for you, if you don't have the people that are in your pipeline or in your database to hit your goals, you're gonna have to get in front of a lot more people. So pick a way that works for you. Some people go, Brian, the coaches just tell me to pick up the phone. Well, that's a fast way to do it. But if you won't pick up the phone, what will you do? Could you meet, do you have a farmer's market strategy? I had one of those as an agent, right? I would just go to the farmer's market and meet people. Or do you have a grocery store strategy? Or do you have whatever your thing is?
Listen, I got to tell you this one because Jack Berry, maybe he's on this call. If you are, great job, Jack. Maybe some of you know him. I got roped into one of his strategy and I didn't even know he was lead generating to me. He sent me a LinkedIn message. Okay. I got the LinkedIn message said, would you like to have a coffee at Starbucks at 7 a.m.? And I said, sure, Jack, absolutely. It's when I used to live in Philadelphia, right? And so I went to the Starbucks across the street from our office and Jack came to the door and he said, oh my God, Matt, it's so great to see you. Can I buy you a coffee? And I said, yeah. And he said, oh, I have a chair in the corner, right? And we sat down, he asked me some questions. He said, hey, before we leave, do you know anybody that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate that I should be talking to, right? I got to ask you, right? And I said, I don't, Jack, right now, but let me think about that. I'll send you a referral, right? And he said, hey, Matt, last thing, have you met Bob? And I said, no, I haven't met Bob. And Jack got up and he introduced me, right, to somebody come to the door. He says, hey, Matt, this is Bob, Matt. He says, hey, Matt, I'm going to talk to Bob. It's so nice seeing you. And I went, that's interesting. And then I heard Jack on a podcast 2 months later. And he goes, here's what I do for lead generation every day. I send out 3 LinkedIn messages every morning and I buy 3 coffees. The first person sits with me for 15 minutes. I talk about what's going on in their life and I ask for a referral. When the next person walks in, I introduce the first person to the second person. I do it 3 times a day. $20 million in sales a year. So here's the thing. What you have to answer for yourself, right? You have to answer, what am I willing to consistently do to talk and engage with people and let them know I am in real estate and I would like to help you to transact and build your wealth or to get yourself in and out of a home. You have to figure out where you will confidently do that, right? And if you don't want to door knock, if you don't want to pick up the phone, if you don't want to use social media, if you want, right? Okay, got it. Where will you do that? what will be the strategy where every day you're going to talk to new people you've never spoken with before about the prospect of buying, selling, or investing in real estate, right? In a way that is authentic and to you and that you're confident in, right? That's what we've got to answer for next year, because what we can't say is, I see these people saying, how could I buy all these different sources? Hey, buying sources is one option, right? What I can tell you is there's something that's authentic to you that you're willing and committed to do that could save you money from buying leads from somewhere else, which is going to cause you to kind of sift through a lot of things, where you're going to actually be able to add more people to your database, produce a greater result, and grow your business by talking to people. Where is that? How do you do that? Where do you go to accomplish that for you every day?
So we asked a lot of questions on here, right? Because if you give the two of us 30 minutes, you're going to get a lot of questions. So first thing is they're recording this. I believe the recordings will get released. You can go back and watch this. You can reach out to either one of us if you have questions. But I'd like to open it up here just for a few minutes, because there's a couple hundred people on here, and we're wondering, like, do these guys ever stop talking? Yes, long enough you ask a question right now. So if you have a question about something that was presented, come off mute and start talking to us, and we'll listen. What?
I don't have a question, but I would like to add that the playbook that you guys showed us, we've been doing it since it was released, I think, in Mega Camp, and it completely changed our pipeline because we adopted what's in that book.
Cool.
Love it.
Awesome. Very
Great.
cool. Okay, any questions? You put it in the chat box. You can ask us here live. By the way, you can ask a question we didn't cover. That's cool too.
Yeah.
As long as it's appropriate and TCPA compliant.
Yeah, this is the playbook that she was just talking about. Yeah, and somebody had already put the link in the chat, so check that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
The link is in the chat for that, right? Okay. Here's the other thing that we can say. Is there a discount code? Great question. I'm not sure. We'll have to see through Maps, may be able to answer that for us here. One of the things that we can say is, hey, most of you are agents looking to make more money, right? Hopefully today you've discovered, what do you want, right? What is your plan? Do I have a pipeline that allows me to achieve that? And what's my lead generation strategy to be able to fill that pipeline if I can? That's what we covered today to make sure you make the money next year. It's that simple. That's what we got to answer to execute on. If you're in a market center and you want to have a conversation with Brian and I every week, there's actually a way to do that. If your market center registers for TL 306090, which is a course that we do for leadership, you get a weekly call as an agent in that market center with us for free for the 12 weeks the market center's in the course. So,
and guess what we're doing throughout the first quarter of 2024?
12 listings in 12 weeks. So we're going to have a call every week, right? For 30 minutes with the agents that register in that course for how do you take a listing every week for the first 12 weeks? One specific strategy that you can execute on to take a listing a week for the first 12 weeks. NAR is projecting that the average agent will do 4 transactions next year. Here's the deal. Nobody on this call is average. You wouldn't introduce yourself that way. You wouldn't say that about your kids, right? We know you're not average. You're going to do a lot more than that. Our goal is that you do more than 12 transactions in the first quarter. So we're going to cover that. If your market center registers, you get access to that as well. All that being said, you still already have the plan. If you're confused about anything we said, schedule a meeting with your productivity coach, with your team leader, with your Maps coach, right? Or come back to another program, right, within Maps to be able to answer more of this, right? If you have other questions that you need to answer, I'm going to do it one more time. We didn't talk about this. My cell phone number is 856-397-6963. My cell phone number is 856-397-6963. Text me a question that you have, right? And I can answer that. Brian, can be reached at?
Yeah, mine is 512-638-5885. Again, it's 512-638-5885. I see some questions about the playbook. I don't have answers about it because that's not our product. I'm just sharing with you that it's available. If you do not get it directly from KW, you might just ask your market center leadership about it. They may or may not have an option for you to get it a different way.
Yeah. So, okay. You know what you're doing to make your money? You know how you're writing your plan, right? You know what you're doing with your pipeline, and you know what you're doing with your lead generation, right? And if you don't have those answers, you at least have the questions to schedule your meeting with your team leader, your productivity coach, your Maps coach, with one of us to say, okay, what should I be looking at? The playbook's a good way. The MREA is a good way, right? Hopefully you're clear on what you can do to move forward.
Give your phone number one more time and explain 12 weeks.
Oh, my phone number is 856-397-6963. Right. And the 12-week program, last question is, your market center needs to register for TL 306090. Once they do that, there's nothing for you to do. You'll be registered in our 12-week program automatically. Okay. Woo. Great. Was that helpful?
Thank you.
Did you write something down that made sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did you write something down where you're like, I could do this, I could do it. Something resonated. One question, one comment, one idea, one strategy. Maybe you lead people and you thought, okay, here's a way that I could lead the people in my world or the people on my team. Yes, something, anything. Okay, good. Happy holidays, right? Whatever you celebrate, have a great time. Take time with your family. Enjoy it. Ask them what they want. Ask them to play a role in setting the goals, right? And thinking big and how we're going to have our best year ever. It doesn't matter what happens in the market. It matters that you have a plan and you execute every single day and you're going to be successful. I promise you that it's real, right? If we can help you, let us know. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the opportunity. You guys are the best.
Thank you all.